Okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
Well, welcome to our little party here. This is a reunion of past participants, and then we have some future ones going to be with us. And if you've been on, well, first let me introduce Kevin and Tricia Dooley, and they're waving.
You wave.
Because I don't know how you have the screen. You may want to put it up in the top right. It says view, and you may want to click it on speaker view. And then whoever's actually talking should come up on top. But I just tried it and it didn't work. But I got a great shot of Chris Weisenhand. And then what I do is I pin myself to the top. And then we're up big, but it's too big for you.
Scare me.
Never mind.
Yeah, y'all are good.
There you go. So anyway, I'm glad you all could come in on this. I don't know who all is going to be here. Where's Sarah? There she is. Sarah's been with us before.
Let's see.
Yeah. This is Ginger.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
Hello. It's like a family reunion.
I was thinking about changing. How do I change my name?
Where's Kevin?
Kevin?
He's camouflaged up here.
Well, you know what we should do is when we want to talk about someone, because we're probably we're mutant Brady Bunch right now. So you may want to just go ahead and wave to attract someone's attention. So anyway, I'd like to thank you all for coming on in. Yeah, Sarah just got here. And what I wanted to do was, first off, who has been on one of these safaris before? Give a wave so we can see you.
Not yours.
No, yeah, ours, yeah.
Yeah, no.
So you
Karen, please.
Yep, and Karen has. And I think Ramona, if you need to nudge him to wake him up, go ahead and do that. So what I wanted to do was what this is for is to catch up. And is John Rasmussen here? Because I saw Deb. Yeah, I saw Deb.
I'm here, Debbie, his wife, but he's away this weekend.
He's doing what?
What
He is away this weekend on a men's retreat with the
Oh,
church.
well, we're glad you're here. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, Debbie.
And what I thought I might do is I've got a couple little slideshows that I can set up. And one of them is basically on the accommodations where we're actually going. What you see behind us is the Lucida Cultural Center. And Kevin will tell us all about it. What's that?
Are you sharing the slideshow right now?
I'm about to.
Unless you, and what you got? You want to say something first, Kevin?
No, but I was just I just didn't know if he had already started his slideshow.
No, but do you see it now?
Yeah, I see it now.
Now we see it.
Yeah, there's and these are just going to flip past, but that's that's where we jam. Someone did something here.
Look at me.
Let me see. It's supposed to just go on to the next one. No, that's the wrong one.
There's the.
Oh, there's the boss.
Oh,
So
that's a duty.
wait,
It's a duty animal.
it was someone else was sharing the screen at the same time.
Oh, oops.
That's what got it. Let me see if I can find it again. Hold on just a second. I'll get there.
Good thing this isn't a guitar.
Oh, well, if it was a guitar, it'd be in tune.
Yeah, I hope.
I'm gonna try that again.
Good luck.
Yep. No, it says the.
It says share down there.
Yeah, hold on a sec. I just got to jump out of it, I think, and try it again. No one touch anything. No one.
There it is.
So anyway, that's where we'll stay. The main lodge. These are the rooms, the way they look. There's an outdoor dining area. Uh-oh.
There's a mischievous gang. Oh gosh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that looks good.
It does. That's how they set the beds out and with flowers and
Breakfast.
Breakfast, yeah.
yeah, this will go. It's pretty short, you know, and there we are. That's
Hey,
the group.
Karen. Look at the group.
Ah.
Oh, what fun.
I'll be there in like 2.5 weeks.
Oh, you dog.
I know.
Now, Steve, where is that facility?
Kevin.
It's in the northwest province, northwest of Johannesburg.
Okay.
So still in South Africa, and being the northwest province, it's a non-malaria area. I think
It looks beautiful.
Oh, it's a
It
stunning
is
watch,
stunning.
yeah.
It's within a very large game reserve called Madikwe, and there are approximately 30 to 35 lodges that actually surround the game reserve.
Wow.
Yeah. However, it is about 75,000 hectares. The game reserve, which I believe is 129,000 acres, I think. If my memory serves me correct. So
Yeah, I thought it was like driving from Tennessee to New Jersey.
exactly.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
That
Wow.
one.
It's
So-
huge. Yeah.
It's not
Sounds
It's not a
huge.
case of
Yep.
where you're going to have a lot of lodges piled up on top of one another. Those who have traveled with us know that all too well.
Uh-huh.
We have to
So
welcome
do
Sawyer
y'all
and
stay there? Do they stay there every night and then go out on different,
Yep.
different days to different places? So you always have that as your base camp?
That's right.
Let me give you guys
no
a,
tents, right?
no,
No,
they
you
are.
can't.
They are tents, and each tent holds 2 people, and you have a little bucket that you go to the bathroom in.
No, he's kidding. So, what is-
and they have those nice
Count
seats
me
though.
out.
The-
Count me out.
the accommodations are tents, but they're like 30 by 30 feet.
With hard ends.
You know, yeah, and
Well,
with- and
I thought you were staying at this place that you just showed us.
well, that's the lodge
Lodge.
part of it.
Well,
that's the
let me
lodge
take
part.
over here, guys.
So they are
And the
permanent
accommodations is on that property.
Okay, so let me just take over here, and I got a little slideshow. I'm going to show you guys. This
Oh,
real
okay.
quick. So basically, there's 2 different types of safari camps. Okay, there's what we call a brick and mortar camp, which is a solid wall, and there's what we call a tent camp, which is a canvas wall. Inside the actual room, so to speak, doesn't normally make a lot of difference. The advantage to having tent walls on your room, so you still have shower, bathtub, double sinks, coffee station, massive bed, refrigerator, air conditioner, heater,
Wow, okay.
ceiling fan, mosquito nets. You
And
still
this is
have,
all in the tent? Wow.
you
Yeah,
still
it's
have
30.
all,
It's 30 by 30. It's huge.
It's a tent.
so you
camp.
still have all of those things. The biggest difference between a, as we just said, a brick and mortar wall versus a tent camp is when you have canvas walls, you can hear everything. So in other words, if the lions are roaring at night, when you wake up in the morning, you hear, the birds start, the zebras, all of those sorts of things that are taking place, you'll hear very well. Whereas on a brick and mortar type of a room, you're less likely to hear those things. As far as comfort is concerned, top notch. There's absolutely no roughing it on that trip.
That sounds
They're
good.
basically cabins. If I could put it that way, they're basically like cabins. They are permanent structures. They have wooden floors. They have their own balcony. They have glass sliding doors leading onto every cabin. Tent cabin has their own balcony,
Huh.
which you need to keep that door closed at all times.
Yeah, don't forget to keep it closed.
Otherwise-
The monkeys get in.
So I'm going to show you guys a little slideshow that I made that's 5 minutes long. And then after I show you that slideshow, I'm basically going to come back on and I'm going to tell you about how the day goes, what it's like to be there, things like that. I do want to share with everyone that we only have 2 rooms still remaining on this trip. We do have those 2 rooms that are sort of spoken for, but I'm not positive yet. We also have another trip with Steve that we have on our website, which is going to be for October of 2022. And that's going to be at our camp in Botswana. So everything that I'm going to be telling you today is very similar at both locations, just so you know. Okay, so I just want to give everybody a heads up on that.
Yo, lady.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so Steve, you're going to let me share the screen, right?
You got it, big guy.
All right.
But no one else share your screen. No one else. Keep your hands up where we can see them.
Everybody always raise your hand. Everybody raise your hand. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It should.
Okay. And by the way, after I get done with this slideshow, I'm going to show you guys. And as I said, it's relatively short. Then we can kind of get back into the questions. And like I say, I have those 2 rooms that may or may not be sold. We should know probably very, very shortly. Then we will be able to establish a waiting list for this trip. And then we're also taking reservations for November of 2022. Okay, so let me go to the share screen option here. Okay, everybody good? You guys can see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, we just came around this corner and this whole herd of elephants, as you can see, is all around us. They're very curious about us. Right now I'm counting, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15 elephants are surrounded around our vehicle. They're very curious about us. They're smelling us. You can see them looking right at us. This is an awesome experience. We're just going to give them a few moments to calm down and move around us, and then we'll pass through this area.
Most of them probably didn't even read the chat thing. They don't know how to do that. I don't want to keep looking at those same 4 people's faces all the time during this presentation. Every time they cough or laugh or something.
Just so you know, everybody, we can hear you.
If other people don't, they don't understand it.
It's pretty.
We are.
Where? I can't over here.
go, banjo picking.
Or running away, they hear a banjo.
You just ate the banjo.
Wow.
All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to go back now to on sharing my screen, and then I can kind of talk a bit. So, go ahead.
I have muted everybody out,
Okay.
so except for Kevin and I. So go ahead and if you have a question or a comment, go ahead and unmute yourself.
In doing that, you've prevented me from being able to get out of the screen.
No. It's up there.
Oh, there
There
we
you
go.
go.
Okay. All right, guys. Let me just go back here to my desktop.
And there we are.
Okay, are we back to normal, Steve?
No, we were a second ago, but that's a beautiful view of your home screen.
You like it?
Eh,
It looks peaceful.
there you go.
All right, cool. So this particular safari, as we had said a little while ago, this one is in South Africa. All right. So basically, it's a flight from Atlanta, Georgia. It's a direct flight straight across. You land in Johannesburg. We pick you up at the airport there. Spend the night in Johannesburg because you generally are going to be getting in around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Several folks will actually arrive a bit early, maybe a day or two, and that way they have an opportunity to sort of start adjusting to the very, very large change in time. Actually, it's not as bad as for you on the East Coast, but for folks like myself or Jeff, who's even, on the west of me, can be as much as, a 9-hour time difference. So at any rate, we stay overnight there. And then the next day, we'll take you on a little shopping spree for some gifts for your, whatever you want to get for your family. Going to go to the Lucida Cultural Center, which is a opportunity for you to see how the local tribes live, their traditions. You'll get to enjoy visiting their I almost said huts, but their homes. And we will end that day with a beautiful time of traditional African dancing. Then we'll have a barbecue and we'll spend the night there. Next day, we'll head up to the Safari Lodge. And in this particular, presentation that I'm doing right now, I'm not really going to cover what Steve is going to be doing. So I'll let him do that part. But basically, when we get up to the Safari Lodge, we're going to check into our rooms. And at the beginning of the video I just showed you, you actually saw the folks singing. That's right when that particular group arrived at the Safari Lodge. And so once we check in, And that's usually around 11:30 or 12. We'll have a nice lunch, and then we will relax for an hour or two. We'll have high tea, and high tea basically, is juices and teas and coffees and snacks. And then we'll head out. And that sort of routine in the afternoon, high tea, going out, is pretty much the same every day. We normally have high tea at 3 o'clock, head out at 3:30. Normally the time of year you're going, it's going to get dark about 7:30 at night. So we get back to camp anywhere from 7:30 to 8 o'clock at night. We usually go straight to dinner. And if you're like me, then you go straight to bed. But I know Steve does that too, by the way.
Well, the first year, the jammers that were with us said, well, let's go jam. Aren't we going to go jam? And I said, no, you guys can if you want to, but I know what this schedule is going to be like. And the cool thing is that, in the mornings,
You wake at daylight.
you're up at daylight, but daylight is like 5 o'clock. And you're out of there now. Kevin, when it first advertised it, up at 6, out at 6:30, and then he's like, "Let's get up at 5 and get out at 5:30." And the main reason for that is because the animals are feeding. Then they're getting up and they're moving around, so you're going to have a better shot at seeing the animals. It's really cool, and it doesn't really matter. You're shifting your daily schedule just a little bit. So we're generally out of there 5:30, 5:45, and we'll stay out until lunchtime. Which is we'll get back to the lodge around 12:30. Halfway through there's snacks and
Coffee break.
Yeah, the hot chocolate break, and around 10:30 or so. And we do that out on the plains. It's a tailgate party, and we flip the tailgate of the Jeeps down, and we should say also they're like it's a 9-passenger Jeep, or is it 12? But it's like
they actually will hold 3, 6, 9 passengers plus the driver and the person next to the driver. However, we've got the whole camp. Okay, so we'll have 3 vehicles, so they won't all be that crowded.
There won't be no one in the middle seat.
Most
unless you want to be. Yeah, unless you want to be. So anyway, so we go out on these 3 vehicles. We go all different directions, and then we can either meet up at our snack time, or we just stop. But yeah, I think if I remember right, we usually meet up. And
we got radios, so we know where all 3 vehicles are, and we stay in touch. And unless we're just really super far apart, but we normally try to travel fairly close together. We'll take like parallel dirt roads because we're all looking for things, and we're going to radio each other back and forth when we find something. So we don't want to be exactly together, but we're normally pretty close.
Yeah. And then, so we'll come back and have lunch, and Kevin said, well, we'll have dinner. We should say that these are like 4 or 5-star gourmet meals that we're having there. It's not like we're having
It's not camp food.
It's not grits. Yeah.
No.
But it could be shrimp and grits.
Yeah. They have
mac and cheese.
If you request it, they will make it for you.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of a lodge, but the food is the desserts are to die for. It's just, and you're not gonna lose weight on this trip. I promise you.
More than likely. Yeah. And then, so we'll have lunch, and that's usually like 12 to somewhere in there, in that hour frame. So it could be 11:45 to 1:45. After that, then that's our jamming time, because we're actually awake, but starting to crash. And we just sit in a circle, and Kevin will have his banjo with us, and we'll I'll just say, okay, let me take the first one. If you know this one, go ahead and play with me, and we'll just go around the circle. Why don't you play something next? What do you got? And it's just a really light jam. And it's a no pressure thing. And if you don't play an instrument, you don't have to. Our son Mark was with us, and he doesn't play.
The lodge also has a little swimming pool and nice sun deck. In our accommodations, like Trish pointed out, the really nice balconies. Those are all over a river that comes by all the cabins. So
and then
it's really pretty.
And then when that's done, when the jam is done, then I go back and try to catch about 20 minutes. Yeah,
Mhm.
Dan did, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever
You know,
called?
And you have a question?
But then you get up for high tea. You're going to have that 3 o'clock, and 3:30 we're back out again. Yeah, Dan.
You're
I
muted.
was just wondering, is in doing any of the jamming, is that all included too, or is that a little extra cost?
No,
No, it's all included.
Excellent.
it's all included. Yeah,
And
Yeah.
if you're lucky, I will play a solo for you.
Oh dear.
yeah. He's been practicing for 4 years. I can't wait to hear this one.
That's the day you can go take a nap.
Yeah.
Just briefly on everything that Steve was just talking about, okay? We will sometimes turn our lunch into a brunch.
Yeah.
And it just depends. Like if we get back at 10 or 10:30 in the morning, then we'll do like omelets and eggs to order, French toast, whatever. But then sometimes we get back later, actually most of the time. And then we just have a huge brunch. And I just want to say that during the time that Steve and you guys and probably me are doing, involved in the jam session, for those of you who may be coming along who are not playing any instruments or are really into photography, there's a water hole at the lodge, and we have a setup down there where you can actually go down to that water hole, and the elephants, and I mean, you never know what's going to come into that water hole. Excuse me. But in particular, the elephants love to swim there. And so if there are those of you who are both into photography and music, or into photography and not into music, we will be offering lots of opportunity to be able to learn more about that, and I'll be there to help you with that as well. And sorry, Steve, I didn't mean to take over. So.
Oh, no, it's quite all right. We were at high tea, and we have one thing that happens every day is as the sun is going down is the sundowner, which that's when all the vehicles get together, and we flip the tailgates down and have cocktails, or Kevin makes a heck of a hot chocolate, or we'll have and coffee. He's a coffee guy, and
front gate, not a tailgate.
no, what is it? Oh, what is it though?
We have
Front gate.
the whole table connected to the front of the Jeeps.
It's in the front.
Oh, it's in the front.
It's in the front, but that's fine.
Not
No
that it
worries.
matters.
It's a front gate.
I just picture. I know something flips down.
Don't
It is
worry.
it is a table. Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
teasing. Go
No,
ahead.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Mom. and anyway, we'll do that, and that's where, if you look at the pictures that I have on my website on the Africa trips, what I did every day was start my pictures at the end of the day at the sundowner. I would always do sunset pictures, so that way your pictures are always numbered. And so they're in that order. And then, so if you look at my pictures, when you see the sunset, then that's the end of that day. And then the next shot's going to be bright, and that's the next morning, And so that worked out pretty well. So we'll do the sundowner. When that's done, then we'll head on back, usually 45 minutes back to the lodge. And that's where we'll have our dinner. And it could be, who knows, but it's going to be great. It's a great dinner. And they'll have taste for her and taste for me. With me, it's like feeding an 8-year-old. And she says,
I want the antelope venison.
Yeah, she says
I like ostrich.
Yeah.
But they also have, they always have choices. They'll have something that's kind of more in the African kind of cuisine.
Yeah.
And then also more American or European kind of cuisine for those people that need a choice.
Yeah.
There's always at least 2 choices with each meal.
And then I was asked, with a chat, have you gone over covered the dates? What are our dates, Kevin? Is it it's November, is it 10 to 20?
Yeah, actually, Tricia will get that right now, because I can't really bring up the website. It's too many things to do at one time, But Tricia's
One multitask.
Yeah. Now next year,
It's going to be November 6th to 16th.
6 through 16. And that probably includes, like a travel days and stuff like that. So like if you look at the website page,
that's right.
it'll say, depart United States, arrive in Johannesburg, blah, blah, blah. And so, and again, a lot of times people will actually arrive 2 or 3 days early, and they'll either do some tours in Johannesburg, or they'll just hang out at the hotel. Sometimes people stay longer and go to Cape Town. There's a lot of stuff like that.
I have a different dates on my calendar, so we need to talk about that one. You're talking about this November?
Yep.
I'm going to actually go to the website right now.
Yeah, because I think that's the trip you might be taking before ours.
Just hang on a second here.
Okay. Chris, you'll have to unmute.
Oh, I guess I have too many websites. I just went to my studio instead of the Safari company.
Because that was a Saturday to Saturday date.
Maybe you
The
haven't
question is November is like May here, right?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Just
okay,
opposite
okay.
seasons. Where is it here, Steve? Oh, there we go.
maybe you haven't changed it here.
You have classes during those time, right, Steve?
What's
So,
that?
Steve,
You probably have classes during that time.
you depart the United States on November the 11th,
Yeah.
arrive in Johannesburg the 12th, overnight on the 12th. We'll be at Lucida on the 13th, the Safari Camp the 14th through the 21st, and returning back to Johannesburg on the 21st, where you can either catch a flight that night back home if you want to, or you can stay overnight and fly back the next day. The one thing I can tell you is
That was Kevin's fault. Sorry, he didn't update his paperwork.
He scared the hell out of me.
You know, I'm going to have a talking with him when this meeting's over.
Thank you. So now, do y'all make the reservations for us on the 13th, the first night in Johannesburg?
The 12th.
Our first night in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Well,
I absolutely can do that. It's completely up to everybody, but if you want to come in an extra day or two prior to that date, obviously that's entirely up to you, as Kevin mentioned.
and we should say that first night in that, well, anything other than what's included with the lodge itself, like I call it Lucida, but now I'm hearing it's Lucida. Lucida.
Yes.
Is anything accommodations other than Lucida or the lodge are things that you'll need to cover, because who knows where you want to stay. And so,
and by the way, Steve, I apologize. However, I'm just, I know a lot of you guys are muted, but if you do type in your questions, a question just came up here about, says we live in Atlanta. So generally it's Delta flight 200 across from Atlanta and flight 201 coming back.
Yeah,
however, that may be changing. So, when you get ready to make your flights, just call me and I will help you. I'll assist everybody with flights, any hotel reservations, all of that stuff. We are here to help you with all of that individually, just so you guys know that.
yeah, and it is a direct flight, and it's like the second longest flight on Earth, yeah. And then coming back is the first longest one, because you're fighting the headwinds. And we've got a question. What's your phone number?
I don't give that out. It depends. Let me see what the person looks like.
Oh, what's Tricia's phone number?
No, it's 505
You can
401 2988. Oh, I guess I can type it in
Yeah,
here.
I was just gonna
So 505 401 2988. Okay. I know that everybody is
So there's another question here.
oh, sorry.
So this is why we recommend
For the flight.
that you arrive a day or two earlier, because should there be any delays with your flight or something happens, I mean, who knows? Anything can happen. We've been pretty lucky so far. We don't usually come across something like this. However, should that happen, you will still be in time to make the group. So we always advise to come in at least a day or two earlier than what we have put on our website,
Right.
just for safety. I think in all the years that Kevin and I have done this, we've only had one person that had a huge problem. The aircraft had a technical problem. It didn't fly that day, and she had to go via Brazil, which was crazy, ridiculous. But because she had booked 2 days prior to us leaving, she was still fine and she made it on time.
And we have all of your flight information. You're going to be giving that to us. We have apps on our phone where we track your flights. So if your flight gets delayed, we're going to know about it. And just as an example, we actually have had to have the bus go back to the airport from Lucida and pick somebody up who is late. I guess that's this question that I'm getting here. I just hope
No,
I'm answering
I
it
actually
correctly.
read it correctly. So if you are like Kevin and I coming from New Mexico to Atlanta, if you are coming in from a different state to Atlanta, that was what the question is. What happens if something happens to that flight and you don't arrive in time for your South African flight? We advise you to try and book an earlier flight to get to Atlanta, because Kevin and I have tried this before. There's 2 flights basically that leave from New Mexico to Atlanta. One is at 6 a.m. and we hate that because then you have like a 7-hour delay in Atlanta. But it's safer to rather do that than book a flight that arrives in Atlanta and only gives you 2 or 3 hours layover in Atlanta to get the South African flight. Because it's an international journey, I honestly don't advise you to do that. If you can get an earlier flight, rather do that, because you don't need the stress. You don't need to sit on pins and needles thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to make this flight?
As well as maybe just arrive the day before and get a hotel there at the airport.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's just peace of mind.
Yes.
And for me, for 25 years of booking flights for my weekends workshops, I always took the first flight out, because you never know how the day is going to go.
Sure.
So it's always get on the first flight. Now, something that wasn't brought up as coming in and going out, we like this at the end of the journey is to go someplace else.
We've had people go a week or 2 early. I think, Debbie, you guys did that, didn't you? Y'all went and did a train down to South Africa.
Yeah, you're muted out there, Deb.
She's not.
That's all right. I can read lips. Hold on. Yes, we did. But Kevin was the best person I ever met in my life.
Oh, Debbie kept a list of all the animals we saw.
We had a great time, and we did come in early. We went into Johannesburg, and then we took the blue train out of Pretoria down to Cape Town. Stayed at the place that Kevin and Trish recommended, and ended up with the guide and a driver that took us all over for the week. And then we took the local airline back up to Johannesburg to meet everyone for the safari. And it was wonderful.
And we did Cape Town one the first year.
The first year afterwards. And then with Jeff and Ramona, we went to see Victoria Falls another time.
Zambia, and we got to see Zimbabwe too, during an uprising.
Hello, Zimbabwe.
Yeah, if
and then
anybody wants information on doing a Cape Town excursion, just let me know and I will be happy to provide that information for you. No problem at all.
Great. I have some pictures I'd like to send out to you if I can find it. And they go as fast as the other one did. They go pretty quick. And Kevin and Trish have always been so kind on mine because the first year I went to go, Kevin says, "Oh, so what kind of camera are you going to bring?" Expecting this big honker, and I said, "Well, I was going to bring my phone." And he goes, I could hear him on there. Just, you hear this big sigh. And then it was no. And he said, go to Amazon or any of these shopping places and buy a camera that's just under $500, which is what I did. I got it as close to 500 as I could. So I think I did right there. And I ended up just getting a little Sony. That takes great pictures. Anyway, I have some that I can show you now, if you'll indulge me. And with the oxpecker.
You're a great photographer, Steve. You get great photos.
You actually do, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you take 5,000 of them. Come on now. You take 5,000.
Right?
Wait, that's the wrong one. We already been there.
Yeah, this is the first show you showed us.
Yeah, I don't know why that's still there. See, do you see my screen sharing thing is crashing on me? What is going on here? Hold on, guys. I can do this. Hey, I can do this. I've been in computers longer than most of you.
And you know, you don't have to be a professional photographer. Just
That's
so
correct.
everybody knows.
Not at all. It's not a pro thing.
Yeah,
Let-
it's not about that.
And we get lots of cell phone users as well. So
Yeah.
whatever you have is fine. But again, I'm there to give you advice on, photography as well as talk to you beforehand.
Yay.
Advice.
This is, yeah.
That's obviously the morning. That's the morning sun hitting that line.
They've had a lot of cubs, just so you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of
There's
cubs.
been
there
a
right
lot
now.
of cubs born recently.
Here's pictures of these.
Mine.
Oh,
Oh, look at that croc.
I didn't expect to see a crocodile.
This is, I believe, from the first year, the wild dog.
Yep.
African dogs. There's our buddy. I think Sarah Baskin named all these.
Hey.
Hey, look, those banditos.
That's a
And-
water.
And Trish, yeah, why don't you guys tell them what we're seeing as we go by? I did this one so you could actually see they are right around us. We are right in the midst of it.
That is a white rhino.
That's a rhinoceros.
Those are hippos.
No.
Just kidding.
And this is a tiger, I know, yeah. But that's about 15 feet away.
And can be closer.
The sunsets and the sunrises are spectacular.
They are.
Yeah, they really are. It's such a good closure to your day. And
Kudu.
those kudu, the young male. Oh, that's an older bull. Your wild dogs.
That's Sulu.
That's a Sulu.
No, I love Zulu.
And that's a leopard. That's a yellow
Leopard
bull
tortoise.
hornbill.
Zebra.
I know this one.
What?
No, it was back a couple.
You knew the zebra.
Hyena.
Hyenas always smile at Steve.
Spotted hyena.
Don't say that those are water buffalo.
No, they're not water
Okay.
buffalo.
Cape buffalo.
Water buffaloes are in China.
There you go. Female kudu. That's a nice shot. European breast or European roller.
Buzzard.
The buzzards mean there's some action going on.
Yeah. The Cape vulture.
You see all the blood on their necks? Oh, that's where it came from.
It's a young male. Go on.
That's an agama. Ooh, those are nice
Agama.
bulls.
I don't know if anybody's mentioned that Kevin is actually at least a level 1 guide. After he's passed all the tests, have you gone in? So he's really learned. Makes the and Trish knows them all too. Makes the trip so much fun to have such experienced people with us.
Some beautiful photos here that Steve took.
Oh, thanks. I did it with my Kodachrome.
Gives you those nice bright colors.
So if you guys notice, so I think Steve, you've always done November, right?
Yeah.
And so this is right before the rainy season begins. So you'll notice that the grass and everything is still very yellow. Those are
These-
orcs.
Yeah, orcs. Yeah.
Gemsbuck.
Gemsbuck.
Hey,
Yes. Good for you, Bill. Thank you.
Tricia is always speaking in another language.
Bill knows his animals. I know he does. I can see it.
Wanna watch this?
It's always fun to see these elephants in the mud.
You said what?
Always fun to see the elephants in the mud.
These
No,
are
I was looking at that at the
Oh.
kudu.
Yeah.
mhm.
Baboon.
He's on guard.
Yeah. He's the
Yep.
skin.
When there's a herd of baboon like that, one stays out and stays on guard.
Oh.
Now remember, baboons are a troop, not a herd.
A scout troop, yeah.
Little elephant, baby elephant.
Little baby.
Springbuck.
No.
Diker? That was the springbuck.
Will be.
I mean, Steenbuck. Steenbuck. I'm sorry.
Oh, you just said he's a qualified guide. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Listen, I corrected myself. It's double S.
We'll talk to those people.
Mm.
Oh,
I love the red dirt of Africa.
Mm.
And you know what causes that?
Some kind of oxidation?
Iron.
Iron, yeah.
High iron content in the soil.
Look at that.
Hey, there's Jeff and Ramona.
Oh, there's little Paul. Oh. That's a turtle dove. Was.
Just so you guys know, it's
Party.
one of the few,
hey, buddy.
Hey.
How'd that get in there?
one of the few remaining places where you can still see rhinos in the wild.
Those clouds with the silver lining. It's beautiful.
It's a nice shot.
I was on our way back home one day, back to the lodge. Ran right into him.
This is making me very homesick.
Yeah.
Very.
African buffalo. They are mean.
Yeah, they can be for sure.
This is an attack that occurred,
Oh, I remember that
yeah,
on the runway.
where there were like 12 or 14 hyena trying to get the catch of the day that the lions had scored. And so a lion will go out and protect it. And you'll see this here in just a second. There's, unless it's already gone by, but that's what's actually happening here.
Yep.
These dogs are hungry.
Those are hyenas.
Oh, I know they're hyenas, but they look like dogs.
Hey, that lion got in there.
There you go, right there.
And a little
And-
jackal.
The jackal standing on the side saying, I think I can sneak in there.
Oh, very brave. Let me tell you, I actually have a lot of respect for the little jackals.
Yeah.
They go where everybody fears to go.
How about that?
Perfect.
Hey, now that was a show
Excellent.
right
Oh, neat.
Hey,
there. So, do you guys have so far any other questions for
Hey, John.
us?
yeah, and
Okay.
you'll need to unmute if
This is Ginger. I got a
Ginger.
question.
Where's
So
Ginger?
I
Yeah,
have
Gin-
a really, really small bladder. What
Yeah.
happens when you're in safari?
You find a really good tree.
Ugh, I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
You
there's
don't have a porta potty on the Jeep?
no,
no.
but
There are 3 real restrooms or toilets on the reserve. Whenever we are close to them, we always, slow down, ask if anybody needs to go.
That's good to
I
know.
think you'll be surprised at how quickly you become accustomed to going behind a really small tree.
And see,
It means no coffee for Ginger, and I'll be really sleepy.
No, seriously though, you'll be fine.
Don't
and
worry.
Tricia handles that for us. She says, okay, guys go that way, girls go this way. And, at any time, if anyone has to stop for any reason like that, then we do. They just find a place where there's no hyena or
the guides will
Rattlesnake.
yeah, well the guides will often get out first and check the surroundings. If you're going to go behind something, they're going to go behind it first.
Yeah.
Just for safety measures. But
Obviously, it must be safety at all times. But what we usually do is, and I'll send off some emails when it comes closer to the time and you're packing. It's a good idea to take Ziploc bags and things like that for the ladies, because we don't allow, obviously, any kind of tissue or anything just to be left in the bush.
Okay.
So the little Ziploc bags, it's always a good idea. But again, I usually go over those things as we get closer to the time. But, honestly, I can tell you that, especially for the ladies, for the guys, they're a little more bold. But I sympathize with the ladies. I'm always there for you. I have had many a lady who's come to me and said, I can't go in the bush, and I totally respect that. My goal is to make sure when you leave, you're able to do that and comfortably.
But again, there are 3 real restrooms. You know, that area where you just saw the lions and the hyenas, that's actually our airstrip. And so there's a restroom actually by that airstrip. So there are definitely restrooms that we can stop at, but they're not necessarily always close to us. And we do normally take one day and pack our breakfast and our lunch, and we stay out the whole day, and we go to, it's a very, very large reserve. So we won't be able to see the whole reserve, even in the 7 days that we're there. But the one day that we stay out all day, we go to the other side of the reserve, where it is one of my favorite water holes, where the elephants are it's just amazing to see. This reserve has one of the highest elephant populations in all of Southern Africa. And there are days when we may see upwards of 300 or 400 elephants in one day.
It's amazing.
So, wow.
Now, a question did come in about vaccinations.
Sure.
And we always got the flu shot. We, you know, when it's time, because you're in this tube with all these people, and hopefully, you know, you all will have your COVID shots. I don't know that it's necessary, but you do have to be clear, you know, cleared before you go. But what was it that we take cholera or typhoid?
That, you know, we check in with our public health department, and they know the shots to give us for South Africa. So you just check in with them. I want to think it's cholera. It's one of those.
Typhoid or cholera. And keep in mind,
you're not going to need a cholera shot for South Africa.
No,
then it must be typhoid.
It must be typhoid in the
and
we're not in malaria. This is not malaria.
They're going to try to sell you malaria pills, but you don't need them. You really don't need them. In fact, there's a mosquito netting over your bed, but there's no mosquitoes there.
I was going to say, Steve, have you ever seen a mosquito
I've
there?
never seen a mosquito there.
Yeah.
So no, it won't be necessary. You know, if they give them to you, take them, because you'll need them in Botswana next year.
Like Botswana, you will need them, but not in South Africa.
Although I've never seen a mosquito in Botswana either.
And just to let you know, Botswana is what they call a low-lying malaria area. So no one will ever tell you not to take them, and we always advise you to take them if you are going to any malaria area. However, it's not as bad as what like Kruger National Park and some of the other areas of Africa are like.
Yeah, and we took them at night. And so there was no effect, you know, some people get squirrely with them, but we now when we were going to the falls, Victoria Falls, there was a lot of mosquitoes up there. So
that's when you want to take them.
Yeah.
If you're going anywhere, Zimbabwe or somewhere like that. Yeah.
Now, Jeff and Ramona, wave at us, would you? Okay. I just want to make sure Jeff was still awake. He's gone on, you know, Kevin and Tricia have gone on more safaris than anyone here. Next in line would probably be Jeff and Ramona.
Yes.
And do you have any kind of pictures put together there, Jeff?
Well, I have maybe a little quick presentation, but I haven't even seen it. Ramona and Kevin conspired to put it together today. I don't know.
Well, now wait a minute. I showed Ramona how to do it. What she did from that point, I don't know.
Well, let's go ahead and see that, and then see if there's any other questions.
Ramona are very good photographers.
Oh,
Let me
they
just say,
are.
I've
Very
seen
good.
some of Ramona's photos, and she's amazing.
She's incredible in lots of ways, not just photography.
That is true.
And I'm not saying that just because she's sitting here right next to me.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Squeezing your knee. Yeah.
Go ahead and run them. Do you know how to do that?
Go to this. No, Kevin, can you run it from your side? Because I sent it to you.
What did you send it to me in?
Your email.
I don't know. You guys find something else to talk about. Let me see if I can.
Okay.
Well, while we have a lull, I want to say hello to Sawyer and Mark. They're here with us, looking at coming in.
Hi, you guys.
Down in California, IA.
Mr. Farley just came in.
Mr. John Farley's with us.
Who's been on the
I
trip
have a
before.
quick question, if I could.
Yeah.
You had mentioned typhoid protection. Is that something new? Because we didn't need that when we were there before.
They gave us this, I know we had to have our tetanus shot. We took our flu shot and our tetanus shot, and there's one other shot that we had from the health department, and I can't remember that one.
Just so you guys know,
That's right, Bill.
yeah, the health department is going to, they're going to probably recommend everything in the kitchen sink to you.
I had a tetanus and a flu shot, and I thought it was typhoid.
He had
Could have been.
the first year we went, he had a hepatitis shots.
I had
He had
hepatitis.
not had
yeah.
his hepatitis. He was not up on his hepatitis yet.
Ramona, you
It's
need
something you should be having even in America. You should have your hepatitis vaccinations.
I agree. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see here.
So Steve, I got a question. What kind of guitar do you recommend taking? Like, I don't want to take my $6,000 guitar.
No, well, you can, but we donate guitars while we're there. So they would really love that. No, what we do is we're going to go to one day. We're going to, hopefully, if Trish can set it up, we go to a school that's there, and we put on just a little play 3 songs kind of thing, but we bring gifts for the kids, and it's going to be like art supplies and books and socks or anything that you think, or bags of candy, etc. And what we've done in the past was just bring a cheap guitar over, go get a $150 guitar. Doesn't have to sound that great over there. So you don't have to worry about it. And then we would just leave it with the school.
Like a Korea, I think it's the Korea Sigma.
Yeah, just whatever cheap, or get something even cheaper than that.
Okay.
Yeah, and just bring it back and forth. Now, let me tell you this: when you're bringing instruments on the plane, they're going to call at some point. They're going to say, "Does anyone need special time or assistance getting on board?" And you go right then. That's when you're going to go on, because all the bins are open right at that point, and they will not ask you why you have to go on. I usually put a little limp in there anyway, but you don't really have to, though. And then the bins are open and your instrument's on board, so it's not a problem, and you get to go on early. And is he okay? With Ginger there, yeah. Okay, so anyway, that's what we do with the instruments. Just go on early.
Yeah, Gene's 80. He needs assistance. He's 81 now. He's going to be 81 next week. So yeah, we'll
good for you. Happy birthday.
Well, and just to let you know, they'll give you little steps to help you get in and out of the trucks.
Or Steve will let you in there. Okay, hey, I just have a question here. Or somebody's talking about Passport Health. So Passport Health is a sort of a chain and it is in a lot of places. You can go there. Just take into consideration that the more stuff that they convince you to take, the more profit they make. Okay, so you just need to know that you may not necessarily need everything that Passport Health is going to be telling you to get. And, just so you know that. I'm obviously not a doctor, but just so you know, South Africa is quite an advanced country as far as the countries in Africa are concerned. And we eat all the food there, we drink the water, whatever. And I'm not saying you should do that, but I'm just telling you that it's, people get this thing about Africa in their mind and they think they're going to the end of the earth, and it's going to be 190 degrees and 300% humidity and 5 million mosquitoes buzzing around your head, and it's just not like that. So anyway, I do have your slideshow, Ramona.
I've had just the opposite experience. I've been 3 times, and each time I've gone to the Passport Health office at the large medical center, and they've been very specific on exactly where I was going, what time of year I was going.
Yeah.
And the package that they set up for me was very minimal.
Excellent. It may depend on just the specific location,
And also, you can go online to what's required to go into South Africa.
Right.
But when you see malaria pills, don't worry with it. But the other thing,
going somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. So, unless you're going somewhere else, right?
Exactly.
Good job there, Mark.
Okay, and then another
yeah.
question here is types of clothing, footwear. We are going to give you a packing list, okay? We also have a Facebook group page, and we talk about that stuff quite a bit. And
Do they have to be invited to that page, or can they just join it?
they have to send an invitation. They have to ask to join it.
And that's the Steve one, right? Steve's photo safari.
Safari, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
but generally, when somebody signs up, when I'm signing up with them, I go through that and get them signed up on that page.
okay, good.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, Tricia will send you a checklist. And the other thing is we will spend time with you on the phone, each of you individually, and basically going through questions. You can call us anytime, and we can go through any specific questions that you might have as well. And, we're here to help you with that stuff as much as possible. Okay.
Great.
I do want to say that, as you were saying, Steve, to get your COVID vaccine is a great idea. South Africa just went down to its lowest level of lockdown. It's supposed to be completely reopened very soon. You can still travel there right now. If by some chance we do have to have a COVID test to come back, right now there are stations at the airport that provide those COVID tests. And there's a 15-minute turnaround time on the, I can't remember the type of test, but the more sophisticated test, I think, is about 4 or 5 hours before you get the results back. So who knows if we'll still need to do that in November, but if we do need to do that, then they are providing the tests at the airport, just so you know. Okay.
You got a slideshow for us, boss?
All right. Let me.
Now these are via Jeff and Ramona.
Yeah, this is a very short slideshow. It's 32 seconds.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. It's 1 minute and 44 seconds. Here we go.
Oh.
Yeah, we're good.
I remember that.
Oh.
Good job.
Uh-oh.
Bluegrass players never have been known for their vocals, have they?
Oh, there's a kid singing.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Those are the kids, yeah.
Cute.
All right, so I will let you take it back there, Mr. Steve,
All righty.
somehow.
Question, Steve.
Yeah.
You have to unmute.
Am I still unmuted?
No, you're
Yeah, you're unmuted.
Okay. What software are you using for your slideshows?
Oh, I'm just clicking on putting all the pictures in a folder and clicking on it. And Jeff, Kevin, it'll be at the top. There's unshare your screen.
So you're not using a particular, you're not putting them together in a software package.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, nothing so sophisticated.
Did that work?
Yeah, I was able to do it on this side.
Hey,
Whatever,
John,
man.
what's your question?
Oh,
Yes.
John's leaving. Okay. Well, does anyone have any other questions or concerns? I hope you can make it on this trip. And if not, then we'll see you on the trip to Botswana in 22. Now, the question did come up, about how far in advance should we book our flight? Right now, if you were to book it into Johannesburg, you'll end up going from Atlanta, Amsterdam, and then over, which if you did that, I'd go a day or two early and have fun in Amsterdam. But
July is when they are they're putting it could be before July, okay? But right now, July is when they're starting the direct flight again from Atlanta. So I would probably hold off on booking your flights until then. I mean, you could change them if you needed to, but it's a pain, you know.
Yeah, but can you? It's not on the schedule yet, but can you? They know it's going to be on the schedule, don't they?
Actually, I think it is on the schedule.
Yeah,
I think it is, Steve.
Yeah.
I didn't check for November. I did check for July just for fun because I was trying to go by month to see when they were going to start those flights back up again. And so July was when it came back on again.
Now, for those of you, the flight over, it's flight number 200 or 201 is coming back. It's 3, 5, and 3, I think. And as far as the seats go. And what we've typically done was book the window and the aisle, leaving the middle open. And hopefully no one's going to want to get in there. Exactly. Now, if someone does want to get in there and they do that, when they come to our aisle, we usually say, would you mind taking the window? And of course not. And they jump over there, but it's so much nicer to have the direct flight because you can just really, what you're going to do is you're going to have dinner, then you're going to sleep a full night. Then you're going to watch 2 movies, and then you're going to have breakfast, and then you're going to take another nap.
It's a 16-hour flight.
It's long. It's
the longest flight you can ever imagine.
Yeah.
You wake up twice.
And they have a section on the plane that we booked last time when we had to cancel, which is it's between you want to try to go in the comfort at least, economy comfort. This is up one from economy comfort, so it's 2 and 2 as far as the seats go. So we could actually sit next to each other, and it wasn't outrageously high considering the amount of time you're in the plane. I think our flight that typically it's 1,400, and then you bump up into economy comfort and it's about 1,800. And then this flight I think was 2,700, but you had real plates.
Just so you know, Steve, while you were talking, I just brought up Delta's website.
Yeah.
And put in those dates in November, and they're definitely offering the trip direct from Atlanta. So.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and book ours just soon then.
Yeah, we've had several people on the safaris go through the Amsterdam route or up through the UK and come down. And like Steve said, they may actually stay an extra day or so. But we've had friends that safari goers out of California that got booked on those flights. Be aware if you're booking with what do they call it? Consolidator.
Yeah.
You better watch their dates and stuff because the consolidators can change your dates and change your route pretty quickly without you really kind of knowing it. They're apparently we've not had it personally ourselves, but we've had other people on our trips to the consolidators got them home 2 days later than they thought that they would because the consolidator rearranged the flight. So it's best to book directly with Delta.
Yeah. And it's a good flight. So, as long as you're going over, it is so far, you may as well just look and see if there's someplace else of interest for you down there, over there, because, stay another week. You're already there. And
Cape Town is a great wine country. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, we've done it several different ways. We've gone through Heathrow, we've gone through Amsterdam, and we've gone direct, and they all have different things to recommend them. But sometimes it's nice to break the flight up if to have a little bit, 2 flights. And, some of those airports have nice little Airbnb things that you can stay in for a couple hours or 6 hours or whatever during that layover and get a nice actual nice meal and a nice nap and then
Mhm.
get on to the next leg. And it's just sometimes more comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally would rather get there and be done with it. You know,
that's the advantage of the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our problem is coming from the West Coast. It's kind of,
Yeah.
it's sometimes easier to go Amsterdam.
Yeah.
That's true,
The
yeah.
hops are different.
Mhm.
You come from out west. And I think like when Mark joined us a couple of years ago, he managed to get from San Francisco. And also Karen Lees. Karen comes in from Anchorage. She's the furthest I've ever seen fly in, but she's here with us. But that was a long flights, 2 long flights.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, has anyone got any other questions or comments? Because we've
One last question.
Yeah.
What is the maximum number of people on this that the trip can handle?
I think it's 18, isn't it?
Okay, so basically the lodge has 12 rooms, okay? And the rooms, we have some people that come as one person. And then, so if every single room had 2 people in it, we would have 24.
Okay.
Yeah, but that never happens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in fact, I've got it.
I think our largest one was 18.
Yeah.
But 18 is also including Kevin and Trish and Donna and me.
Oh, okay.
See? Yeah.
I was trying to find the reservation list. We do have, I don't know, several rooms actually that just have one person. So it's definitely not going to be 24. I can tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah. No middle seaters. Okay. Well, anything else to add, Kevin?
I was just going to say that I have a very strong feeling that this trip is going to, we literally only have 2 rooms remaining. And so I'm not sure if those folks that were wanting those 2 rooms, I'm going to check with them when we get done. But other than that, if any of you are wanting to go on this trip in November, then I recommend you call me, or I have put my email address in this thing on the right, but the chat room. But I would get back with me. I mean, even if you've decided right now you want to go, I would call me immediately. And what I'll end up doing is making a list in the order that you call me. And then, we can see what happens with those last 2 rooms. Other than that, if you want to go on the Botswana trip, we still have space available on that trip. No problem. And it's about the same size trip. So
it's in October.
Yeah,
October 22.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm waiting still to get the word back from the lodge. Actually, you know what? We only have 10. I think we only have 10 rooms at that lodge. So it will be a smaller group, but just the same, right now they're holding the same dates as this one in November, but I've been working with them. And so I won't know until Monday or Tuesday if it's going to be October or November of 2022. Does that make sense?
I wasn't listening. I drifted away.
Okay.
But no, I put your email address back up.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. And if for those of you who can't spell all that, I'll put my personal one on there also.
But we have, it's nice to see we have several here that have been on the trip, and we have several here that are going on, that are new, that are going on the next trip. So it's going to be a great time. Oh, there you go.
Does anybody that's been on the trip have anything to add? Karen, I know you've been.
Sarah, Mark.
Yeah.
I had a great time, and I just kind of wanted to hear what you guys were planning for this time. And one of the things, I didn't get my microphone unmuted before, but when I traveled a long ways, I came in early and I just subscribed to I wasn't ordinarily, what did we fly, Delta?
Yeah.
I wasn't ordinarily a Delta frequent flyer, and so I just signed up for the day. So after I got in there, I had some free breakfast in one of the lounges, and then I went to another lounge and I got about 4 hours of sleep actually in a sleeping room that they had, and then woke up and came found you guys in the airport.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's the Sky Room. Delta has a Sky Room there. And it's
Right.
actually, it's a real nice one there in
On the international
F terminal. Yeah. And I think it's like $35 or something like that. For
It was more economical than buying a hotel room, but and it was plenty nice. People were people were quiet in that room, and
yeah.
it all worked out great. And then I got up and I had another meal for free and some drinks then while we waited.
Yeah, because your drinks are most of the drinks are the well drinks are free there.
Right.
All the coffee and tea and all that stuff is free there, and then they do have a breakfast and they have a lunch and a snack and a dinner. So depending on how long you're going to be there, but it's I like the Sky Room.
Yeah, and so I was there a long time because, like you, I didn't want to miss it, or if I had to be rerouted, I wanted to have that 5 or 6 hours between.
Yeah,
flights.
you traveled 2 days.
I did.
Yeah,
I did, and I didn't know which meal I wanted, so
didn't really matter. Yeah,
it didn't matter anyway.
Yeah, Karen came in from Anchorage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And as for the trip itself, that was my first and only time so far that I've ever been in Africa, and I couldn't have wished for a better group of people. Our group was small. Yeah, I already knew. I knew 2 of you, and then once we got together in the airport, I recognized John Farley. I don't know if he's still here, and I'd already talked with Kevin and Trish, and I felt like I knew them by the time we got there.
You're gonna make me misty.
I know, it was a lot of fun. And by the way, Kevin made me buy these boots that cost $225, and I said, "Can't I just wear my tennis shoes?" And Kevin said, "Well, yeah, you can," but he says, if you get out of the Jeep and you go around that bush, everything has thorns on it, and the thorns are longer than the soles on your tennis shoes.
Well, I tell you what, yeah,
those boots so many times, Kevin. I just love them. Thank you.
Oh, good. Yeah, Kevin sends out a list that, or Tricia actually does. She does all that stuff, and sends out a list of what to pack and what to bring. And the first year we did that, and it was a lot of stuff. Second year, I just brought what I kind of wear around town. It's hot.
It's cool and hot.
It's cool and hot. Yeah. So you need a slicker and you need just light clothing. I only wear sneakers because that's all I ever wear here. But I just watch. I don't step on thorns.
But
the thorns are
the thorns are good. But clothing wise, you're going to dress in layers, and they do have a laundry service there at the lodge. But we're not here for fashion statements. We're here for comfort.
Well, you saw me at the school there, yeah, and I think that was Jeff, wasn't it?
So
pretty.
So and then usually with the school, we like I'll go to my dentist office, and my dentist office will give me about 200 toothbrushes to take to those kids. They like American candies, and I have to tell you, the last time we went, one of our favorite guides, patients, we've known her for years. She's building a house, and I took her some landscape solar lights for a gift,
for a housewarming
gift. And after she opened it, she came to me in tears because she said what she would do is she would actually, because her house has been built, but she hadn't had the permits to put the electricity in it yet. And this was 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years.
And she said, now I can have light in my house. And she was going to leave them in a bucket outside to charge during the day, and then be able to take them into her house at night. And when we went to tour, she actually was lighting her house with candles.
Yeah.
So that was something I didn't think. It was unexpected, but the solar energy things, and I left solar flashlights and everything last time we were there, because they're amazing people. They're kind people. And there's just amazing how they get by with, we're just so spoiled Americans. We're so spoiled. But anyway, there's just the act of giving solar lights just like thrilled her. They were using them in a house. I mean, you're thinking about houses that the children can't read at night because they don't have light in their house.
But we'll talk about the stuff that we bring if we get a chance to play the school, because that's just a lot of fun. It takes one morning, and
it takes away one of our safari days.
Mornings. Yeah. So anyway,
hey, there's one thing I'd like to say, if you don't mind. No, I'm not muted. it was in, when Donna said that they have laundry services at the lodge, they do, and it usually takes a day and a half turnaround. And so you can really take that into account when you're packing, because they do a good job with laundry. They get it back to you, and it's incredibly inexpensive, much less expensive than an overweight luggage fee. And so it's just something to think about when you're, if you tend to have a clean pair of everything for every day, you don't necessarily really need that if you take advantage of those laundry services.
Yeah. Great.
Exactly.
All right.
I'd like to add something for those who have never been before. Going at that time of the year is like springtime. All the babies have just been born.
Yep.
The trees don't have the leaves, so you really have the advantage of being able to see the animals. I didn't realize that when we went, that it was going to be that way. I also did not have any idea that the animals would be right outside of our Jeep. I figured the first elephant I saw was probably at least a mile away. And I was so excited to see that, and didn't have an inkling of the adventure we were about to be on. It was unbelievable. It filled my bucket list. That's
Oh,
for sure.
great. Well, and one of the most excited people was Sarah, because we'd come up to a giraffe, and she just started numbering them. She was naming every animal she saw, but they are right outside your vehicle, and it's not like there's a screen around it. There's not a mesh. One of the things we learned is that you come up to a pride of lions, or maybe 15, 20, 30 lions there. What I started doing was looking at their ribs. If you can see their ribs, you stay quiet. If you can't see their ribs, then they're full. They don't even care that you're there. But when the guide says, shh, you say, yes, sir. It's kind of like that. And you stay quiet anyway. I mean, we're not there making a lot of noise, but really at no time, except the first time a lion came to the vehicle, it's like, don't look at it, because it'll grab your soul. The eyes are piercing into you, and you kind of, away from the edge. But after you get used to it, Mark did the same thing. And, it's just it's a natural thing. The first time the lion will come up, and we're not talking about a little kitty, comes up to the vehicle, it's a thrill. It's a thrill and you have really no fear, but you don't put your hands outside the vehicle. Just don't do it, because then it'll see you. It can't see you otherwise. It sees the big thing, and it says, I'm not going to fool with that.
And just so you guys know, we do safaris in other places, and one of the advantages to this particular location, as well as where we go in Botswana, is that we can go off road. So there's a lot of safari areas that have established rules where you're not allowed to leave the main dirt roads, but we can. And, there may be times when we stop the vehicle on the main dirt road, and the other guide, myself, might hike in and follow some lion tracks and find those lions, and then come back, and we'll just drive you guys right to the lions. And so it's a massive, massive advantage, because otherwise, if you see something from the road, then you can't, you can only see it or experience it or photograph it at whatever the distance is. But we will be taking the vehicles off the roads and going right up to the animals.
It's way cool. It's way cool and fun.
It is fun.
So we've kept you way too longer than I thought we would. If you guys want to do this again before we go, holler at me. But it's the best, one of the best trips that Donna and I have ever been on. We've been all over as well, and this was such a great trip, and it never has lost its excitement time after time. So anyway, I think you'll have a thrill, and they call it a once in a lifetime thing, but no.
After you get Africa,
go back.
and
You'll have to go back. Yeah, at some point. So we can hold it here unless anyone else has any other comments.
I've got my phone, so if anybody wants to call me afterwards, or text me, whatever, please
Now,
feel free to.
what does the fifth caller get? Maybe a calendar or something?
They can actually get a copy of my new book at twice the price.
At twice the price. Very good.
Thank y'all so much for the informative presentation. It was wonderful.
Oh,
Thank you.
great. Well, I hope you'll make it with us.
And Kevin, I've seen your book. It is great. We've got to get one on order. I really like your book.
Thank you.
Laura Bonacari and I shared hers with me. Thanks.
Yeah, just give me a holler and we'll get one to you.
Okay, great.
Good to see you, Sarah.
Everyone,
Good to see everybody.
have a great weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Bye
We'll
now.
see you.